Welcome, one and all. When it comes to telling a good story, video games are a fantastic medium for that and don't get enough credit. So here is part 1 of what I think are some of the best stories in gaming. Beginning with Assassin's Creed, the Ezio Collection. Now you could just play Assassin's Creed 2 and you'd have a fantastic time, but I do think the best way to experience Ezio's journey is with all 3 games. Assassin's Creed 2, followed by Brotherhood, followed by Revelations. You get to see the story of him going from a bit of a spoiled young man to fantastic master assassin to mentor to younger assassins. And of course there's his battle there with the Templars and all the normal Assassin's Creed tropes as well. Ezio is still my absolute favourite assassin in the entire series. You've got to give credit to Assassin's Creed. Telling a historical epic is part of the game design, and I'm not saying they hit the mark every single time, but they have been successful with that with quite a few of their games. But this trilogy of games, still the best to me.
What it means to cross the assassins!
Next up we have Heavy Rain. At the time a PS3 exclusive, you can now get it on the PS4 as well, and probably on digitally in other forms. This is a interactive movie style game. I never know exactly what to class these as, so story is absolute paramount. Thankfully, I think they did an absolutely marvellous job. It's got this wonderful noir feel to it. You play as 3 different characters, each one nicely flushed out, so you can see how their stories intertwine in the search for the origami killer. Yes, the controls are a little bit weird, which can make quick time events fun because you're just not pressing things as you would expect to. You'd have to play the game to know what I mean there, but you get used to it. Stunning graphics, as I've already said. I adore the story of this game. The first time I played it, I literally played it through from start to finish. Lots of replay value because apparently there's as many as 34 different endings available. Highly recommend this game to anybody who's not played it. Yes, it can take a little bit to get going and be a bit slow at the beginning, but boy, does it get good. Far Cry 5. Now, I know Far Cry fans out there would be expecting Far Cry 3, and I've got nothing bad to say about that game. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. But I also have the same opinion of Far Cry 5. The story here takes place in Hope County, obviously a fictional location, and it's a nice change from the jungles. You are there to take out a cult leader and ultimately dismantle the entire cult itself. You start off with the low-level henchmen. Yes, there's the bases to take on and make your own and all those things with the standard Far Cry tropes. No radio towers though, which is nice. And you are there to free the citizens of Hope County. Now the story here hooked me from start to finish. Getting to know all the NPCs, both the bad guys and the good guys who you can actually recruit some of, including a giant bear. I mean, how cool's that? Sending a giant bear in to maul your enemies for you. That's worth playing it, just for that alone, but I digress. The NPCs are all really well flushed out. Hope County itself tells a story. You go and investigate things like bunkers, find diary entries and things like that, and you learn about the life of the inhabitants here. It really will hook you, and I think the story of this is as good, if not better, than any Far Cry game. Probably equal to 3. Don't want to say it's better, I don't want to get too much hate. Have you ever wanted to actively play a horror B-movie? Well, you're in luck, because you can do that with Until Dawn, one of the greatest interactive horror games ever made, in my humble. Now, this has all the standard tropes you would expect. You've got your party of teens out in an isolated location, tons of jump scares, spooky atmosphere, and twists with the plot. And it goes in a direction which at least I didn't see coming the first time I played it. Let me know if you figured it out, and you're smarter than me, in the comments. Stunning level of graphics, as these games tend to be. A wonderful story. This was another game I played through from start to finish the first time I played it without a break, because it just hooked me straight away. I highly recommend this to anybody, and it's pretty cheap to pick up now as well. The Elder Scrolls V: Skyrim. Do I really need to say any more than the title here? I think we all know why this is one of the greatest games ever. Road 96, another interactive adventure game. Now the reviews of this referred to it being a bit niche and not for everybody, but I actually strongly disagree. I think if you like interactive adventure games with a really gripping story, this can be enjoyed by you. And that's got to be quite a few people, hardly niche surely. Let me know if you agree in the comments or not. This is set in the mid-1990s in the fictional nation of Petria, a country ruled as a tough dictatorship, but with a political event on the horizon which could change everything. You take control of various characters trying to escape the country, get to the border using, you guessed it, Road 96. It's played from a first-person perspective. Each character you play as, you either get them to escape or arrested, and then you change to the next one. Real good fun, an absolute banging soundtrack. How can this game be classed as anything other than fun for everyone?
Once you've discovered Petria's beauty...
Another game I probably don't need to say too much about, The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. I could have easily put Tears of the Kingdom on here as well, but I've gone with Breath of the Wild because it was the first of these two relaunches of Zelda with the new art style and things like that, and it's got to have contributed towards the Switch's success. It was a console seller, that's how good this game is. Still, actually. Highly recommended for anybody. The Legend of Zelda series has always been Nintendo's sort of best RPG series, and this game goes with a bit of a reboot, as I said already, a different direction in style, and tells a fantastic story in a fantastic open world. I'm struggling to think of anything negative to say. If you own a Nintendo Switch, you've probably played it. If you haven't, please do. You don't want to miss this one. The first Tomb Raider game in 1996. Now, an entire video could be made trying to discover which Tomb Raider game has the best story, and I don't think we could ever come to an agreement. I'm going with the original for two reasons. First of all, as you can see from a trailer I'm showing you, it's been remastered, meaning it is available to a lot more people, because not everybody has an original PlayStation, but a lot of people have current gen consoles which they can play it on. Having played the remasters myself, I'm a big fan of how they've sympathetically upgraded the graphics, keeping the original feel of the game, and improved some of the controls as well. My second reason for including it is quite simply, it's amazing. It is absolutely fantastic. The exploration, the settings, the combat, leaping around, the supernatural twists is absolutely perfect. As someone who grew up watching and adoring the Indiana Jones films, this was the perfect game for me. It's also, to my knowledge, the first 3D game of its type. If it's not the first, it's definitely the best known and most people's introduction to this type of game. See what Lara was originally supposed to be. Some say she's lost her way a little bit with more recent games, but that's another conversation. This is true vintage Lara, as she should be, as she should remain, although maybe it's a good thing she's not as pointy anymore. That concludes part 1. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss part 2. I've got some links to some other videos you might like, and I'll see you very, very soon. Thanks for watching.